Hello. Today we're going to be doing problems 1 through 5 from the Amc 12A 2019. Question 1. The area of a pizza with radius 4 inches is n% larger than the area of a pizza with radius 3 inches. What is the integer closest to n? So let's find the area of these two pizzas first. So a equals pi r squared, so we have then 16 pi and 9 pi. So we want to find n, and okay, so the top will have to be 16 pi minus 9 pi, the numerator, and that's because it's the area larger than. So we're finding the difference divided by the area of the pizza with radius 3 inches, and that's 9 pi. So that gives us 7 pi over 9 pi equals 7/9, which is approximately 78%. Now, one common mistake someone might make is thinking that you do 7 pi over 16 pi, which would yield the answer C of 44%. However, that is not correct because of the way that the problem is phrased. Question number 2. Suppose A is 150% of B. What percent of A is 3B? So let's find A in terms of B. We have A equals 1.50B, and 3B is important, so we'll find that in terms of A. So 2A equals 3B. So what percent of A is 3B? So we can rephrase this question to be what percent of A is 2A? And 2A is equal to 2.00A is equal to 200% of A. 3. A box contains 28 red balls, 20 green balls, 19 yellow balls, 13 blue balls, 11 white balls, and 9 black balls. What is the minimum number of balls that must be drawn from the box without replacement to guarantee that at least 15 balls of a single color will be drawn? So these types of problems are common on competitions, and we can immediately know that the maximum amount to not get a ball would be if you drew 14 of each. So let's try that. 14 red balls, 14 green balls, 14 yellow balls. However, here we encounter a problem. Because 13 is less than 14, we must bring it down to that value of 13 and assume we draw all 13 of those balls. So 13, 11, and 9. That's equal to 20 plus 42 plus 13, which is equal to 62 plus 13 is 75. And we could right here answer 75A and we'd be wrong, because that's the maximum number of balls that must be drawn from the box without replacement to guarantee that we draw at most 14 balls. So we must add 1, and that way we guarantee that in one of these 3 sections of red balls, green balls, and yellow balls, we're going to have 15. So that gives us our answer of 76. Number 4. What is the greatest number of consecutive integers whose sum is 45? So the key word here is integers. Integers are defined to be the set of numbers such that -2, you have -1, you have 0, 1, 2, and unlike the whole numbers and natural numbers, it extends both to the negatives and the positives. So that means that we can have our set include negative numbers. So you might immediately choose A, but that would be wrong. That's only in the natural numbers, where it's 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9. However, this one's a little more clever. Let's firstly take the example of -2 plus -1 plus 0 plus 1 plus 2. Right now we know that -2 and 2 cancel out, and -1 and 1 cancel out, and that gives us 0. So that means if we take -44 plus -43 plus so on and so forth to 44, then everything else cancels out as well, and that equals 0. So that means if we add the next consecutive number, which is 45, we get 45 right here. And that utilizes the fact that negative and positive numbers cancel each other out. So that way our answer is 45 minus -44, and we're taking the numbers from negative 44 to 45. So, and then we always have to add 1 in this case. So that gives us 89 plus 1 equals 90, which you might notice is exactly double of 45. 5. Two lines with slopes 1/2 and 2 intersect at 2, 2. What is the area of the triangle enclosed by these two lines and the line x plus y equals 10? So here what we want to do is immediately graph this. It'll make things a lot easier since we'll be able to visualize this question. Okay, so I definitely recommend you bring a ruler, bring a protractor, you bring everything you're allowed to the AMC, because there are times when you have diagrams or just hand-drawn diagrams, it makes it a lot clearer to see what the answer is. So definitely bring those. In this case, you don't need it though, because you can solve it either way. Let's figure out, we have 1/2 x, y equals 1/2 x plus b, and when you plug in 2, that's a solution. So 2 equals, so we know b equals 1. So our equation from this is y equals 1/2 x plus 1. Then we also know y equals 2x plus b has a solution at 2, 2. So we have our two equations. Now let's quickly draw that out. We know our y-intercept of this one is at negative 2, and it passes through this point. So we have this, and we have y-intercept of 1, and it passes through that point, so we have this. Okay, now let's figure out our last line. X plus y equals 10, and to make things easier, we'll make this y equals 10 minus x. So now we have y equals 10 minus x, and we want to find the intersection points with these two respectively. So let's start off with y equals 1/2 x plus 1. Using substitution, we'll substitute this for y, and we get 0.5 x plus 1 equals 10 minus x. 1.5 x equals 9, and thus x equals 6. When we plug this back in, we get 6, 4, and so that is the point at which these meet. Always label these points as well in case you forget. Now let's move on to our other section. So we have y equals 10 minus x, and we have y equals 2x minus 2. Substitution again, 2x minus 2 equals 10 minus x. 3x equals 12, x equals 4, and then we have 4, 6. Okay, so we have our triangle. It doesn't look to be anything special, but immediately we do realize this is an isosceles triangle. And that's very useful because for those of you who've taken trigonometry or geometry, you'll know that in isosceles triangles, the median is equal to the altitude, which is equal to the angle bisector. So we're going to use that for this problem. Let's draw this out. So that's our altitude. And let's find what this point is. So it'll be the average of these 2 points. So 10, 10 divided by 2 is 5, 5. So now what we want to do is we want to find the base and the height. The base is, by the distance formula, square root of 4 minus 6 squared plus 6 minus 4 squared. And that's equal to square root of 2 squared plus 2 squared, which is square root of 8. You can simplify that to 2 root 2. That is our base. Our height, again by the distance formula, is square root of 5 minus 2 squared plus 5 minus 2 squared. This equals this equals 3 squared plus 3 squared, all square rooted, which is 18. And that is equal to 3 root 2. So now we know BH over 2 equals the area, which is equal to 2 root 2 times 3 root 2, all divided by 2. And that gives us 6. Please leave a like down below if you learned something new from this video or you enjoyed it. And please come back soon for my next video, which will be on questions 6 through 10 of this same test. Thanks for watching.